So potentiometry will be coming under electroanalytical methods because of its popularity and simplicity in world. This can be employed as a very common technique, very common analytical technique for the quantitative analysis. And another important advantage of this potentiometric technique is it belongs to static methods, static techniques of analytical methods. While doing the analysis using potentiometric technique, there will be no flow of current through the circuit. Therefore, no complexity is involved. Very easily we can quantify the solutes present in the samples. Therefore, it is one of the important electroanalytical methods. So what is the background? Because we will be using potentiometric method for the quantitative analysis. If we wanted to analyze any sample by quantitative method, by using a quantitative method, it may be classical method or instrumental method, there must be existence of relationship between the concentration or the quantity or the amount of the analyte present in the sample. Then what is the outcome we are going to measure either from the classical method or the instrumental method? There must be a relationship must be existing between the concentration and the output given by either by classical method or the instrumental method. In potentiometry, more relevantly, we can say that potential is the measurable parameter. Potential is the measurable parameter in potentiometry. In order to quantify the solute present in the sample, there must be relationship between potential and concentration existing. So what is that relationship? That relationship is better explained by a very popular equation called as Nernst equation. You're all aware about this Nernst equation. Nernst equation can be used to express the relationship between the concentration of the analyte present in the sample and the potential which can be read by the instrument or the electrochemical cell what we are using for analyzing the sample which is containing the analyte. So the popular Nernst equation is related in this particular manner. Assume a typical chemical reaction is going to be taken place for an analyte, and thus that reaction may be either oxidation or reduction. Analyte may be undergoing either oxidation process or reduction process, whatever it is. And due to the oxidation or reduction process, there is a generation of the EMF due to the chemical reaction. The EMF is going to be generated, and this could be measured against the reference electrode what we are using in a potentiometric electrochemical cell. This EMF, this EMF is directly proportional to the concentration which is represented by Q in the popular Nernst equation that can be written as E is equal to E naught minus RT by NF into ln Q, where E naught is the standard state reduction potential if the reaction is reduction reaction, or E naught is going to be the standard state oxidation potential if the reaction is going to be oxidation. Where R is the universal gas constant, you know this, 8.314 is its value. T is the temperature, what you are going to maintain during the analysis. F is the Faraday's constant, that is nothing but 96,487 coulomb. This is going to be a standard value. And N is nothing but how many electrons have been removed from the reducing agent in its oxidation process, or how many electrons have been added to a oxidizing agent in its reduction process. So N is nothing but number of electrons released or number of electrons added. Where Q is a quotient, this quotient is also called as equilibrium constant. When you write a chemical reaction in the form of A plus B gives rise to C plus D, Q will be taking the value of, which is the ratio of the concentration of products to the concentration of reactants. That means to say that if you consider a chemical reaction of A plus B gives rise to C plus D, Q value will be concentration of C into concentration of D divided by concentration of A into concentration of B. Therefore, Q is called as quotient. So if you simplify this equation further by putting 8.314 in place of R and 25 degrees Celsius, that can be converted into Kelvin, 298 Kelvin. If the temperature which is maintained during the analysis is 298 Kelvin, because 25 degrees Celsius is going to be the standard temperature we will usually maintain during the analysis. If you substitute at the temperature 25 degrees Celsius or 298 Kelvin, this Nernst equation will be simplified to E is equal to E naught minus 0.05916 divided by N into log Q. So this will become 2.303 into RT by NF into log Q. If you simplify this ln Q, you will get it here 2.303 into RT divided by NF into log Q. So further you put the value of T as 298 Kelvin and R is 8.314, F is 96,487 coulombs. The value will be simplified to 0.05916, where N remains unknown unless the chemical reaction is known to us, for which we are going to write the Nernst equation. So for any reduction or oxidation reaction, this Nernst equation can be used in order to obtain the concentration by using whatever the electrochemical cell potential is generated. So this E value can also be written as E cell, and this E cell is proportional to the concentration of the species which is involving in the reaction. So whatever the electrochemical cell you are going to use, in that electrochemical cell, analyte must undergo transformation to get converted into product or intermediate. What is the concentration of product or intermediate that can be related with the EMF or the potential difference or the electrochemical potential which is generated during the analysis. So this E value will be typical for anodic and cathodic reactions. On the other end, we can say anodic reactions are called as oxidation reactions and cathodic reactions are called as reduction reactions. They can be represented by EA and EC, where EA is the E cell value for the anodic reactions, EC is called as E cell value for the cathodic reactions. So, you take any electrochemical cell that will be having two opcells. One will be cathodic and other one will be anodic. Whatever the potential difference you are going to note down will be overall potential, the overall E cell. So what is that overall E cell? In an electrochemical cell, anode will be placed conventionally at the left hand side always, and the cathode will be situated at the right hand side. So we will be varying, we will be recording the potential of the working electrode in reference to the reference electrode. The concentration of the analyte is attributed by the working electrode, not by the reference electrode. So what we will be recording? We will be recording the potential difference, the change in potential in reference to the reference electrode, in reference to the counter electrode. Therefore, the overall potential difference generated, the overall potential arised during the chemical reaction can be written as EC minus EA, where EC is the cathodic potential difference, EA is the anodic potential difference. Means this EC is nothing but the E cell for the cathode and this EA is nothing but the E cell for the anode. Whatever the EMF generated in the reduction process, that will be denoted by EC, and whatever the EMF generated in the oxidation process, that will be denoted by EA. The difference between EC and EA is written as overall EMF of the electrochemical cell. So if you split the electrochemical cell into two equal halves, one will be the cathodic electrochemical cell and another one will be the anodic half cell, you will be able to write the two Nernst equations for the two independent half cells. You have to be capable to write the Nernst equation for two different half cells. One will be cathodic and other one will be anodic. You consider here this example I have presented in my previous talk also. This is having two half cells containing zinc and silver electrodes. Zinc and silver electrode. The half cell which is containing zinc electrode is represented as anode, and the half cell which is having silver electrode as cathode. So anode is the electrode at which always oxidation takes place. Therefore, zinc is going to undergo oxidation to get converted into divalent zinc with the consequent releasing of two electrons, whereas silver undergo reduction by capturing one electron to get converted into elemental silver. This is going to be the overall reaction. If you sum up, if you combine oxidation as well as reduction reactions, this is going to be the overall chemical reaction you can write. Zinc reacts with oxidized silver ion to get elemental silver and ionized zinc, ionic zinc, divalent zinc. Okay, we know the Nernst equation for anodic reaction. For anodic reaction, EA is equal to E naught minus 0.05916 divided by N into log Q, where Q is the quotient which can be represented for the reaction at which oxidation takes place. This is going to be the oxidation reaction. Zinc is going to be converted into zinc 2 plus 2 electrons. You have to remember one particular point here, that while writing the Nernst equation, the quotient will be written, only for the oxidized species to be present in the numerator. While writing the quotient, make sure that the oxidized form of the species must be present in the numerator rather than the reduced species. Okay. So otherwise, here the negative sign is present here. EA is equal to E naught minus 0.05916 divided by N into log Q. Let me simplify this. I will write it as E Zn2 plus divided by Zn. This is called as couple. Zinc 2 plus to zinc is called as Zn2 Zn couple. So E of Zn2 Zn couple is nothing but E naught of Zn2 Zn couple minus 0.05916 divided by 2, where N is substituted by the value of 2 because here 2 electrons have been removed from this elemental zinc because zinc undergone oxidation. 2 electrons have been released here. So N value will be getting the value of 2 into log of 1 over zinc 2 plus concentration. So while writing the Nernst equation, even though the reaction is oxidation reaction, you interchange the position of the reactants and products reversibly. Means zinc 2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to zinc. If you reverse this particular chemical reaction, this will become zinc 2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to zinc. While writing the Nernst equation, the E naught value or the E value will be written always for the reduction reaction. So you convert this into a reduction reaction, then only this will become negative, E naught minus. If you write the Nernst equation for this reaction itself, then this minus will be converted into plus. This minus will be converted into plus. So EA will be equal to E naught plus 0.05916 divided by N into log Q. In that case, E is equal to E naught minus 0.05916 divided by 2 into log of zinc 2 plus concentration. Instead of 1 over zinc 2 plus concentration, here you will be getting log of zinc 2 plus concentration. In that case, this will be converted into plus. So both the ways are correct. So this potential, because this is the oxidation reaction, the potential for the oxidation of reaction is called as anodic potential. Similarly, this is going to be the reduction reaction. In the reduction process, silver ion is capturing one electron, or one electron is going to be added to silver ion to convert monovalent silver to elemental silver. So E of Ag plus Ag couple is equal to E naught of Ag plus Ag couple minus 0.05916 divided by 1, because the value of N will be getting to 1 here because only one electron has been added to silver ion, into log of 1 over Ag plus. Here you need not to interchange the positioning of the reactants and products because the reaction itself is a reduction reaction. Therefore, why do we write 1 here? Because solid silver, any pure substances which may be liquid or solid, they will be having activity or concentration of unity. Therefore, the activity of silver solid here is considered as 1. Here, the activity of zinc solid, it is solid in nature, it is a pure substance, its activity is considered as 1. Any pure substance which may be in solid state or liquid state, their activity will be getting the value of 1, unity. Their activity will be unity. Okay. So this is nothing but the anodic potential and this is nothing but the cathodic potential. Why do we call this as cathodic potential? Because this reaction is cathodic reaction or reduction reaction. So Overall electrochemical potential can be written as E cell is equal to EC minus EA. EC is called as cathodic potential and EA is called as anodic potential. The same electrochemical cell here, the schematic representation of the electrochemical cell containing zinc and silver electrodes in anode and cathode respectively can be written in this manner. Systematically, or the shorthand notation of the same electrochemical cell can be written in this manner. Zinc is immersed to zinc chloride solution. Zinc chloride is having 0.0167 molar concentration, right? Zinc is immersed to zinc chloride solution of concentration 0.0167 molar. Silver is immersed into silver nitrate solution of concentration 0.1 molar. So both are aqueous solutions. AQ represents the solution is aqueous solution. So zinc immersed into zinc chloride will be acting like a anode. Silver immersed into silver nitrate will be acting as a cathode. So by convention, any electrochemical cell, either it is written schematically or systematically, the electrode which is present in the left hand side will be anode. Here zinc is the anode. The electrode which is present in the right hand side is called as cathode. So the electrode which is present in the left hand side will be responsible to undergo oxidation, and the electrode which is present in the right hand side is cathode, at which the reaction is going to be taken place is reduction. Okay. So the overall reaction E cell according to this particular equation can be written as E cell is equal to E cathode means E naught of Ag plus Ag couple, what we have written in the previous slide. This is going to be the E cathode value. E cathode minus E anode. E cathode minus E anode. E cathode value, you know, you substitute the equation E naught of silver 1 silver couple minus 0.05916 divided by 1 into log of 1 over Ag plus concentration minus E anode is E naught of zinc 2 plus zinc couple minus 0.05916 divided by 2 into log of 1 over zinc 2 plus concentration. These E naught values are going to be constant provided the temperature is known. Temperature, and assume that there are no any matrices present in the solution containing the analyte. In that cases, the E naught values will be obtained as constant values and they can be procured from the electrochemical series. So E naught value is called as standard state reduction potential if the reaction is reduction, or E naught value is also called as standard state oxidation potential if the reaction is oxidation reaction. From the electrochemical series, you can have the E naught value of silver 1 silver couple as plus 0.7996. This is for Ag plus electron gives rise to Ag solid. The standard state reduction potential for Ag plus electron gives rise to Ag. For that reaction, the E naught value will be plus 0.7996 minus all other thing remains same here. You know the concentration of AgNO3, silver nitrate concentration is 0.1 molar, and obviously the concentration of silver ion will also remain at 0.1 molar. So that has been substituted here. Minus the E naught value of zinc 2 plus zinc couple is going to be minus 0.7618 minus 0.7618 minus all other things kept intact into log of 1 over zinc 2 plus concentration is represented here as 0.0167 molar. So if you simplify, E cell is equal to plus 0.155 volts. So what does this means? This is going to be the overall EMF or the potential difference we can see at the state of equilibrium at temperature 25 degrees Celsius under the standard conditions, under the standard experimental conditions. During the course of the chemical reaction between zinc and silver, at least plus 0.155 volts of potential difference must be seen as a change in potential in order to assure the chemical reaction is completed. So therefore, Nernst equation is very important equation in order to deduce the relationship between the concentration of either silver ion or zinc ion with the potential. So assume if you wanted to calculate the concentration of either silver ion or zinc 2 plus, so for which you are going to determine the concentration, you design an electrochemical cell in such a way that the other half of the electrochemical cell is containing a known electrode of known concentration of the solution. Right? A known electrode you take, you must that electrode into a solution of its own ion, its concentration is known to us. Where the silver ion concentration you need to determine, you put here a question, you put this as concentration of inspection. So finally you can calculate the concentration. You will be knowing the value of E cell while performing the potential measurements. You will be performing the potential recordings by plotting the graph or by using the Nernst equation at the state of equilibrium. What is the potential difference generated? You can substitute here. What is the potential difference obtained? You can substitute here. Then you can calculate simply the concentration of silver ion if zinc concentration is known. If zinc concentration is unknown, you can use known concentration of silver ion and zinc concentration can be calculated. Therefore, this relationship between the concentration and the EMF as depicted by the Nernst equation is very, very popular and very essential. Okay, let us consider the second example. This I have given as a task for you to depict the cathode, anode, cathodic reaction and anodic reaction. So let me consider its systematic representation. The systematic representation is given in this way. Silver rod has been immersed into a solution of hydrochloric acid of concentration 0.1 molar. It is not only containing hydrochloric acid, in the same phase, saturated silver chloride is also present. The species in the state of solid, saturated silver chloride is also present along with hydrochloric acid into which silver is immersed. On the other hand, so this is going to be the anode. On the other hand, platinum has been immersed into solution of ferric chloride, which is having concentration of 0.05 molar. Not only ferric chloride, in the same phase, it is also containing ferrous chloride, which is having concentration of 0.01 molar. So, if you consider the systematic representation, this is going to be the anode, this is going to be the cathode. You look at the species, which species might be able to undergo oxidation, because the species present here should undergo oxidation. The species present in the right hand cell should undergo reduction. Here, the silver is the only species to undergo oxidation. Here, platinum is the electrode. Though platinum is a electrode we are using in this particular electrochemical cell, platinum is highly inert. It do not undergo either oxidation or reduction. It is a highly inert metal, platinum. So go to the next species. Ferric chloride, does it undergo reduction? Ferrous chloride, does it undergo reduction? Ferric chloride is strong oxidizing agent when compared to ferrous chloride, so it should undergo reduction. So ferric chloride is containing iron 3 undergo easily reduction. So iron 3 plus 1 electron gives rise to iron 2 plus. This iron 2 plus is also present in 0.01 molar concentration. So this will be reaching the phase of FeCl2, no problem in this. And here silver should undergo oxidation because hydrochloric acid is a strong acid which will undergo ionization to get converted into H plus ion and chloride ion. So H plus and chloride species will be present in equal proportions. Therefore, whatever the silver undergoing oxidation, that will be converted into Ag plus, because this is going to be the anode. Whatever the amount of Ag plus obtained going to react with chloride to produce silver chloride precipitate. So Ag solid is going to be oxidized into Ag plus by releasing 1 electron. That Ag plus is highly reactive with chloride to form Ag chloride precipitate. So precipitation reaction is going to be taking place. So the product obtained here is same as the other species present in the half of the electrochemical cell. So oxidation reaction is Ag plus, Ag gives rise to Ag plus plus 1 electron. That Ag plus will react with chloride to produce AgCl plus 1 electron. So this is going to be the overall reaction. Ag solid plus iron 3 plus Cl minus gives rise to AgCl plus iron 2 plus. So E cell is equal to E cathode minus E anode. E cathode minus E anode. E cathode can be written as E naught of iron 3 iron 2 couple, iron 3 iron 2 couple minus 0.05916 divided by 1. N value will be 1 here because only one electron has been added to iron 3 species into log of iron 2 concentration divided by iron 3 concentration minus E anode E naught of AgCl Ag couple minus 0.05916 divided by 1. Again, one electron has been released from the oxidation process into log of concentration of Cl minus. If you write the reduction reaction for this, 1 over Cl minus will be converted into Cl minus. So this will become 0.05916 into log of Cl minus concentration. From the electrochemical series, you can obtain the value of E naught for iron 3 iron 2 and AgCl Ag couples as plus 0.771 and plus 0.2223 volts respectively. So if you substitute the E cell value of plus 0.531 volts will be obtained. So this means to say that during the course of the chemical reaction between silver and iron 3 in an electrochemical cell by potentiometric technique, at least plus 0.531 volts of potential difference will be seen at the point of equilibrium state. So in order to reach the equivalence point, at least 0.531 volts of potential must be changed. So that point is called as equivalence point. So E cell is nothing but the EMF or the potential difference that we can expect as a change in potential difference due to the completion of the chemical reaction between silver and iron 3. Because these are the two species, these are the only two species, silver and iron 3, involving in the simultaneous oxidation and reduction reaction. Okay, so I told you about the electrochemical series. The electrochemical series can be seen in any standard textbooks. So you can see the E naught value can be obtained from the electrochemical series. In the electrochemical series, the species which is having negative standard state potential and positive standard state potential, negative standard state potential and positive standard state potential, which is having more negative standard state potential so this is going to be the electrochemical series. You can obtain from any textbooks or from any websites. So iron 2 plus 2H plus 2 electrons gives rise to 2HF, 3.06 volts. Like this, cerium plus electron gives rise to cerium 3 plus. So in the electrochemical series, from top to bottom you can see, based on the potential, based on the standard state potential, you can come to the conclusion that which is the strong reducing agent and which is the strong oxidizing agent. Okay. So this is about the relationship between the concentration and the potential difference as explained by the Nernst equation. So while looking at the Nernst equation, it is not more common to use the Nernst equation always to deduce the concentration of the analyte by looking at the EMF value, because it has some limitations.